Good day, everybody. Welcome back to another little episode we like to call Diet D&D. As always, I will be your Dungeon Master, Artificial. With me on this solo campaign, we have player Daniel.
Hello!
As per usual, playing his custom beastkin, Elrik. Alright, now, Elrik, you haven't been too long since you've been to Boars Wood. You normally roam about by yourself since leaving your homelands. It's been not too long. You just recently had quite an interesting little adventure of some sort of phantasmical golden dungeon with nonsense of golden knights and stars from the heavens, and it was very interesting and confusing all at the same time.
And exceedingly overwhelming.
Yes. But in it you managed to gain some just a little bit of loot, a few things to maybe some bits and baubles to walk off with. You managed to bring a little demon girl back to town in hopes to find her mother. You have also managed to hatch your little pet, which you now have bundled up quite, I guess I could say, as pleasantly as you can in your little cloak of a backpack.
Yes.
Well, it's still mid-spring. You're kind of just doing your own thing, as Elrik would do. But you have an urge to kind of go back to Boars Woods, as you're getting a little bit bored, frankly. There's not much going on, and most everybody's out and about doing things. Last you spoke with, you managed to get up with the beat knight, but he said he would be going out of town for a little bit to visit some friends. You didn't really question, you didn't really ask why, but that's not really in your nature now, is it?
Correct. That is not in my nature. I just go with things.
It's not really your business to go poke around other people's stuff, but no one holds that against you, of course, especially when you're kind of trying to get in with this group as the victors, who are basically bounty hunters, so it kind of fits your character.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty much for your own entertainment purposes, you decide to try and head back to Boars Wood. Well, it's pretty much bright early in the morning. Maybe not quite dawn, but it's still mid-morning, and you find your ways walking back to Boars Wood. It's not too far before you hit the edge of the woods where you can see the little, outwalls of the settlement. And it's gotten very overcasty. It's gotten very cloudy pretty much out of nowhere. Like on the other side of the woods near, say up towards the north near like Steelport or, farther up north, it's just clear skies. So it looks like a storm's rolling in. It only takes you about a few minutes before you're almost at the gates, and it's quite evident there's some sort of storm front moving in. It's quite focused coming over the coastline here over Boars Wood. And you begin to notice snowflakes are falling. It's actually snowing. You find this a little concerning, or a little bit odd, as it's midsummer. And Boars Wood is pretty much in kind of like the temperate, tropical zone. Not temperate. You'd be around the equator in, in pretty much real line geography.
Quite concerning, then.
Technically, at this point, I'm giving you free reign. Go for it.
Let's see. I should probably head north to my little house thing and make sure I have things to bundle up with.
Right. Sure enough,
So let's head north.
Okay. As you pass through the gates, it's evident it's been snowing for quite a while here. There's a good, almost at least a foot of snow on the ground already, and it's coming down in quite heavy flakes. It's quite pleasant, but it's beginning to be a real snowstorm. Alright, please tell me you're able to move your new custom token.
I am.
Hooray!
My
Alright,
mouse just keeps double clicking. Ah.
alright. Go ahead and start moving one block at a time at your heart's content as you begin to trudge through the snow.
Trudge. Trud.
Right about here, you begin to notice a large snow mound that's piled up, kind of about maybe 4 or 5 feet. Just this big pile of snow, like you would see, pushed up on the sides of roads if someone were shoveling away snow and whatnot. It's a good layer of snow on everything. The buildings, the little housings around. A good solid layer. It doesn't look like anyone's been shoveling snow from anywhere, because it looks like this snowstorm really just kind of blew in as your weather changes, which you would expect from your quick sudden change.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just this big pile of snow just right here, like in the middle of the road.
Do I see where it might have come from, or is that just a pile of snow?
It just looks like a pile of snow. There's no footprints, or it doesn't look like anything's been disturbed around it, like shovel tracks or anything like that.
Can I investigate the snow pile?
Certainly. You can just do a standard perception to start off with, if you'd like.
Okay. With a 13.
Okay, it is in fact just like I said, about a 4-foot mound of snow, not particular in shape, just kind of this piled up portion of snow, and it's got a bomb in it.
What?
I hear
No,
beeping.
that's an alarm clock.
Yes.
It's oh, shit. And it's got a bomb. What?
Do you want to investigate it any further or anything like particular or?
No. If it just seems like a pile of snow, it's just a pile of snow.
Pretty much just a 4-foot pile of like undisturbed snow. Like maybe there was a big rock or something underneath it, and snow's just piled up. It looks just about as undisturbed as the floor, the street you're walking around on right now.
Nope, gonna keep moving forward.
Okay. Alright, you begin to notice, all the trees are covered with quite a bit of snow as well. The leaves are, the trees actually, branches are starting to sag a bit. It's really coming down in some large flakes. It's not really windy or anything, but it's a good snowfall right now. You also notice you haven't seen any people yet. Boars Woods isn't a very overly populated, but there's no one running around playing in the snow or anything. But then again, Elrik, you haven't really seen snow around these specific tropical areas, because technically this would be summertime for this area, and you're not sure how these people, or if anyone cares about snow, or if, they're all deathly afraid of it and need to stay inside or anything like that.
Well, they're probably inside because they may or may not have, winter clothes.
Right. This is a little settlement after all. Not all the buildings are up to code. There's actively, ruin of a few of these buildings.
Right.
There you begin to see your a few tents set up around where the Beat Knight's garden to be. This building right here. Can you see my ping?
Just barely.
Okay, this building up coming next would be the place you would deal with Mitigus and her vaults.
Okay.
And your vault, of course. You would normally expect to see her outside waiting by the door. But you do not. You do, however, see another big pile of snow kind of scrunched up at like the footsteps of the door. Or piled up, I should say.
Can I brush off the snow?
Yes.
I would like to brush off the snow.
Okay. You begin to start kind of brushing away this pile of snow, and it just dusts away like, freshly fallen snow. And there's evidently more packed snow underneath what you're brushing off, like it solidifies. Like hardened, more iced snow that has really been packed together underneath of this, and you do feel what feels like a more solid form of snow. Like something's been iced over.
Okay.
Dude.
Is there nothing else I can tell about it?
I mean, you've only brushed a little bit. I mean, you can continue to, try and excavate this thing or something if you'd like.
I think I will.
Okay. You begin to kind of try and make out whatever this more compacted shape is. And once you dust off the freshly fallen snow, the nice light dusty snow that powders around your feet, it's evident this is some sort of like snowman. It's made out of more compacted, it feels more like icy snow. It's quite hard and, kind of harsh on your fingers. It is like someone has literally rolled up and built a snowman, and it's just, been layered in another layer of snow to make this mound. The snowman is not perfect. It's not, like three little spheres. It's more kind of like a mound still, but it does have a face. It doesn't have like little, coal bits or a carrot nose or hat or anything like that, but it does have a face.
Okay.
Roll me one more perception if you would. I want to see something.
That's a 2.
Okay. You're not quite sure, but the face looks weird. You're not sure if it's upside down. Is it a face? Am I seeing things? Is it just like the way the snow's been pushed together? Is it a handprint?
Am I just imagining that there's a face on there because snowmen in people's heads generally have faces, and I'm just envisioning one on it?
Maybe so. You're not quite sure if you're just, forcing a face on it, but you think it looks kind of like what you'd expect a snowman to be.
All right then. Well,
Okay, you begin to see the tents where Mitigus and Arnett and the Beat Knight would all set up their little, shops and whatnot. And beyond that would normally be the Beat Knight's garden.
right. But still no sign of the Beat Knight or anybody like that, right?
You haven't seen anybody yet.
Hmm. Where's
Actually,
my tent?
you really don't have a tent. Everything you own pretty much has been put in your vault or is on you.
Alright. This is before that. I'm getting my meta-knowledge confused.
Yeah, you've been thinking about putting up a tent, but it's not been official yet.
Right. But no Mitigus, huh?
At least she's not outside. I mean, you didn't walk inside and down to the vaults or anything, but She's normally lounging about the front door or, the tents over here.
Well, let's backtrack back to the vaults. I wish my mouse would stop double-clicking. I'm going to try and enter... Well, I can't enter the vault because she's got the key, so...
Her little building here is kind of set up just a simple little shack. It does have kind of like a little mini library office, and then like a big set of stairs down which leads to the vaults.
Well, I'll go inside and check for her.
Okay. The door does not have a lock, as the only thing in there worth really protecting would be the vaults, which of course have already been double keyed and whatnot. Opening the door, it's dark. There's no candles or anything lit. There's the only light filtering in from the windows. There's a few candles set about, but they don't look used. There's the flight of steps down to the vault. There do appear to be a track of footprints, like wet, sloshy footprints, like someone has tracked snow in and it's melted since then, that lead downstairs. Or I should say, they lead from or to the stairs. The footprints aren't perfect. It just looks like, what you'd expect of wet footprints, but you can't tell which way they're coming.
Well, then let's head down. Maybe she went down to the vault to warm up.
Okay. You make your way down the steps, and you peer around the small little corridor that is about, 10 to 20-ish vaults. You never really counted yourself. It's a straight hallway. It's dark. You can't really see the end, but you do not see Metagus just, hanging around. Put you right there.
Do I see any sign of any more footprints anywhere?
The water from the footprints kind of just begin to dissipate. It looks like it heads down the hallway and just kind of it's evaporated or worn off since then, about halfway down the hallway and just is gone. It doesn't look like it turned to a specific vault or anything.
Well, let's head back up then.
Okay. I need you to give me a roll. Give me 1 second. I actually need you to roll a dex save for me.
All right.
Against a 16.
Okay, 1 dex save coming right up. I got a 6.
Alright. You take 1 damage as you slip on the bottommost stair and kind of just scuff your knee real quick on the wet staircase.
Alright.
It's dark down here. You're not sure if you just didn't look where you were stepping but oops. It's all good. Keep going.
Alright, now I'm going to keep trying to go up.
Okay. You make it back up to the little office.
And out. Out the front door.
Okay. You open the front door and it takes you about half a second to double take, but the little snowman you've dusted off has already gathered quite a bit of snow on it. It's still coming down quite heavily. It's got a good fresh layer of snow on it. And more importantly, it's at the bottom step now. It's not like the foot or so away from the steps where it was. But there is no sign of movement. There's no disturbance in the snow. I'm not sure if it's snowing hard enough to cover up something, but this snow figure has moved closer to the door.
That's disturbing. Okay. Well then, I want to... Can I push the snow out of the way?
It's like at the bottom step. There's like 3 steps down. It's kind of just at the bottom step. I mean, you can do what you'd like. I'm just letting you know where it's at. It's not like in the doorway.
Can I get around it?
Yeah, you can kind of jump over the side of the stoop or literally walk down kind of, the other side of the stairs.
I'd like to do that,
Okay.
because now I'm on edge. I think I should probably head to the tavern.
Okay, um,
Or the bar.
yeah, the Victor's Chalice, which you know is literally around the corner. It's going to be more towards your south and about the next block over.
Okay. Then that's what I shall do.
Alright, you begin to start kind of backtracking, and it's very hard to tell, but you can vaguely make out that your footprints you previously left are almost completely filled back in by the snow.
That's a lot of snow.
Oh yes, it's coming down in big flakes right now, but it's not windy, so it's coming down quite steadily. Right, pretty much at the end of the intersection that would be coming up to you, you can pretty much see the bar right in front of you.
Awesome. I hope it's open.
Stop right there and roll me a perception.
Alright, that is... 5 and 11 is 16.
Okay. Uh, First off, you immediately hear the sound of glass breaking. You can see ahead of you, uh, at the Victor's Chalice, the bar, it looks like one of the windows has been shattered. And more immediately, you do see a figure kind of leap out of the window and plunge into the snow below. This figure looks to be, humanoid, about a man, but can't quite tell who or what, but it's, not a monster or anything, is from what you can see in the snow. It's holding something, and it immediately bolts off around the side of the bar, running in some direction, with some sort of purpose. Less immediately, you do hear what sounds like footprints or the shuffling of snow from behind you.
I turn around.
Just as before, these snow piles that you have been passing, they don't quite look like they were in the same spot that you think you passed them in.
Oh dear. Not good, not good, not good. Um, I'm going to try and follow that guy
Okay.
quickly.
All right.
You
You
said he went south?
Yeah, he jumped out of a window. You could see his footprints that start leading southwards from here.
Well, I'm going to follow them.
All right, you begin to start following these footprints through the snow. It's evident that this figure is running. It's not just trudging through the snow. You could see where the snow's been kicked up. This thing's trying to move.
Oh, right.
From here, it takes a sharp turn to the right, or sorry, to the left. Cuts the corner. Looks like it keeps on heading down the straightaway.
Oh, right.
The snow looks like it actually begins to start picking up a little bit. It actually gets a little bit windy. So the flakes kind of get, start to get a bothersome. They're really getting in your face. You're actually getting quite cold now. There's snow's, about ankle to knee height, so it's not easy trudging through the snow.
Hmm.
From this intersection, the footprints look like they start turning towards the right and cutting around the corner over here.
All
But
right.
it already looks like there's signs the snow's falling just enough that it's starting to fill in the tracks. It's still evident. There's still nice little mounds, footprint holes in the snow, but it's obviously starting to fill in. They're not quite exactly fresh.
Then I better try and hurry. Let's cut around the corner, right?
To the south.
Oh, to the south. I'm going the wrong way.
This way.
I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm. And they cut to your left.
To the left. So, this way.
Other way.
But that's left.
To your left. That would be
Yeah.
your right.
This way. Oh, so this way? My character's left.
Correct. I assumed you were facing southwards.
My character's left.
Yes.
Okay, not my left, but my
I'm
character's left.
sorry.
Right?
That is correct.
Okay. Oh, it's too early.
You can start picking up the pace and start moving too by now if you're trying to hurry.
Yes.
You see, right about here, the footprints kind of dodge and weave or run around the snow pile that's in the middle of the road right here.
Alright.
They keep going straight on. They kind of slightly go around the tree in the middle of the intersection, but they keep going straight through the pass here. All right, right about here, you actually can hear, you actively hear another like pane of glass shatter. Sounds from around the corner, but the footprints keep leading straight ahead. The glass sounds like it was over in this direction.
So that way.
Gonna follow the sound?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if the footprints
No, the footprints keep going straight.
Mm, so we have a sound and we have footprints.
Correct.
Mm, I don't know. This is a tough decision.
Do you want to roll? Go ahead, just roll me one more perception.
15.
Okay. Uh, After the sound, in your little bit of indecisiveness, you kind of hold still for a moment, and you do hear what sounds like footprints in the snow, like running, similar to the figure you saw before.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be growing louder. You hold on for about half a second before you literally see what looks like a man running in your direction with something in his arms. You see him first, so I'm going to give you a chance of opportunity before he runs wherever he's going to run.
Hey, wait, what's going on?
He kind of halts for about half a second. You can see more clearly this man is in minimal clothing, like he's just got like, common serfs, or even, just like the bare bones of what would be modern day pajamas. He's in
Mm-hmm.
his underwear essentially. This man is holding what looks like some sort of vase or elaborate urn. He seems to be bandaged up on his arms and a little bit of his legs. He doesn't look well. He's got quite a wide-eyed look about him, quite startled. But more importantly, he looks very cold, of course. He looks like he's been out in the snow. He's got frost forming kind of on the outer bits of his clothing. You shouted good enough in a good advance as he's running towards you, kind of halts for half a second, kind of stops and, like, very panicked, looks around for a few seconds. Stuff to the hall. You gotta get your stuff. This man is stuttering, and you believe he's probably freezing. You gotta get your stuff, or you won't get what you want. You gotta go get your stuff. And he just begins to take off and run past you.
Sounds like looting. Okay, then.
You can see the man run off to the edge of the fork in the road and take a hard right, almost kind of tripping over himself, or failing the slide of the corner, but he manages to keep running and disappears around the corner of the intersection.
Well, then. I think it would be best to follow him. Looters. This is going to be interesting.
It doesn't put you off that entirely bad. Obviously, it's a concern, but this is kind of a settlement of mercenaries and bounty hunters. But everyone here tries to hold themselves to a high enough standard not to, steal from your neighbor. Most everyone thinks, they're not stupid enough to do that. But every now and again, there has been a burglar or a looting around here, but, it is a rare occurrence, as expected still.
Yeah.
Right, the footprints do continue on to the intersection and take a hard right.
All right. Hard right. Character's right.
You can see the footprints where he almost fumbled in the snow and they continue downwards. Um, you haven't explored every inch of Boars Wood, but you're coming up on this huge building over here to your right, to your character's left,
Thunder, don't.
which you believe you've never been to personally, but you believe is mentioned the large, essentially like the meeting hall for Boars Woods, the town hall, if you will, which is pretty much just a local mead hall, which everyone uses, kind of like a big convergence area.
Okay.
There's some there's a few large windows in the side of the building, and you do see some light, what looks like flickering light coming on from inside, which is about the only sign of life you've seen since that man. You haven't seen any other of the shops or buildings have any light or anyone out and about. You haven't seen any footprints, which seem to be getting snowed in very quickly. You also start noticing there's quite a lot of these little piles of snow as you begin to make your way around this side of town.
I need to get to that hall quickly.
Roll me one more perception real quick.
8.
Okay. It takes about you only got about half a second of warning, but you hear footprints fastly approaching from behind as something bumps you in your shoulder, almost knocking you to the side. Doesn't knock you down, but something has just about run into you, and you kind of gain yourself for half a second, and it looks like some local farmer, someone close to like Arnett, but he doesn't, it just looks like a common townsfolk. It doesn't look like any of the shopkeepers, or you don't particularly know this person, but they're also just dressed in their barest wear. They don't have any boots or anything. They've just got the minimal clothing, and he's got a rake in his hands, and he looks quite panicked as the first person. He looks at you for half a second like he's about to say sorry or something, but he just kind of shakes his head and ignores you and just tries his best to run past you. He also runs similar to the first individual.
Well, I think it would be best if I head that way.
All right.
It's getting more and more snowy here.
Yes, it's quite breezy now. It's actively coming down. It's snow's almost like it's up to your knees at this point. It's quite a snowstorm. The door to the big hall is literally right here on the corner of the intersection, and you can see. You can actually zoom out a little bit if you would like. Um, Over here towards the farther edge, around the back side of the hall, there is quite a lot of these snow mounds, like literally covering the streets.
Hmm.
The footprints of the man who just dashed around you literally lead right up to the hall, like it just ran inside.
And inside I go.
All right, the usually large iron hinged, like vaulted wooden doors would normally be closed. That one of them is actually open just enough for about maybe two people to walk through shoulder by shoulder, so it's actively open. And from the doorway, you decide to step inside, and you're immediately met with just a twingeness of the airflow, of like the breeze of someone opening a door. You can feel the cold air rushing out from inside, like a breeze of someone opening a door.
Okay.
Here you are. You're all the way at the bottom, centered. You step inside, and it's this large mead hall, which you would expect of large dining wooden tables set up. It's not quite what you expected, as the almost the entire right hand side of the building there is like no wall and part of the ceiling is missing. You're not sure if this was recent or if this is just how the hall was, as you've never been to this building yourself. But it's obvious there's quite a lot of snow that's been filtering in and literally, coming inside the building. Uh, there's a series of elongated wooden tables and benches literally just thrown about the room. You're not quite sure if this is normal or if this is new. There's an evident, quite a long line of people. Uh, from your position at the door, all appear to be holding things that seem to be forming some sort of line to a large door at the back of the room, which looks to be iced over from your position. And a smaller cluster of people all gathering around the huge hearth on the left-hand side of the building, all surrounded. This is a huge fire. This fire is almost like uncontained outside the hearth.
Hmm.
It's not. It's almost like a false illusion of actually it's snowing in the building as the wind kicks up just enough to kind of blow the snow through the hole in the side of the building. And it's almost colder in here than it is outside. You're actively getting, like, your nose is starting to burn at this point. It's very unpleasant.
Well then. I want to head towards the fire first.
Okay.
And you said that was to the... I'm still zoomed in.
Oh, I mean, you can zoom out. You can see everything I would need you to see.
Okay.
Feel free to zoom out as you need to be, as to kind of scan the room. The big hearth with the people clustered around it is over here to the left-hand wall.
Alright, that's where I'll head over first.